Hey, Journal Goddesses, it's Dionne the Tea Priestess for our weekly oracle reading for May 10th through about the, 14th, 15th. Let's connect in with our bodies. Just take a nice deep breath here. How you doing, body? How you doing over there in your world? Just noticing if anything is swirling and twirling within you. Not trying to change it or force it to be anything that is not. And giving yourself permission to put it outside of our space where you can unpack it or not. Beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me. So, today is actually the Scorpio full moon. So, this makes it a really powerful time to check in with the elements, okay? Now, you could use obviously any oracle deck that you'd like, but you know my favorite right now is the Elemental Forces of Creation Oracle. So, let me tell you a little bit about the full moon in Scorpio. So, energetically, it can be really, really intense. This is a good time to check in with your intuition and pay close attention to any messages that are coming up from your inner world or your outer world. So, inner world, you might be getting some dreams that are wonky, but they remind you of something that's going on in the outer world. Now, that's a thing about Scorpio. It has a tendency to bring anything that's hidden to the surface. So, your truth radar may be sending you extra communication during this time. But it's really, really important to listen to your gut instinct during this time. Be very mindful that you are coming from a place of emotional maturity. Now, when we have feelings and thoughts come up into the surface, we have a choice to act from an emotionally immature place, ranting, screaming, hollering, carrying on, or an emotionally mature place where we recognize the feelings, we find healthy ways to express them. Now, healthy way to express them might be ranting and raving and carrying on, but not in a way that directs them and projects those emotions out onto other people. Okay, so being mindful of what your emotional reaction is or response is, and making the decision to choose to respond rather than to react to intense emotions or situations. So, with that being said, let's check in on all of the realms of creation to see what messages the Scorpio full moon has for us today. I've grabbed my journal, and so let's get started. Physically, what do you need to know from this time of intensity? What do you need to know about your physical self? And just connect with Earth for just a moment here. And take some notes for yourself too if you need to. What do I need to know physically in this full moon window? And before I pull this card, I want to go in and say, physically around your dream or your goals. So just the physical realm. What does the physical realm need me to know about my dreams, about my goals, about myself during this full moon window? And so Earth says foundations. So the foundation of everything, in order to have anything come forward, you need to have a firm enough foundation to be able to build any structure on. So what foundations need to be shored up in your, do you need to learn more in order to build a stronger foundation for your dreams and goals to come through? Or are there any cracks in the foundation that need to be patched up? So for example, maybe you need to release some things, and physically, maybe you need to release some physical things in your world in order to shore up the foundation for you to be able to bring your dreams and goals to life. So journal with that for just a few minutes. I just got some good little juicy tidbits for myself. And so now let's move on to the emotional realm, the water realm. So, what do you need to know in this Scorpio full moon window? And as you're working with these, you might even think about what needs to be cleared, what in your emotional realm, in order for your dreams, your goals, whatever you're working with right now, to be able to come into fruition. Okay? So, connecting with the water realm, the emotions, what needs to be, the power of love. So, do you need to feel more love for yourself, for the projects that you're working on, your goals, your dreams? Where do you need to liberally pour the power of love on to onto the projects, your goals, your dreams, yourself? Do you need to express more love for yourself in order to help your dreams and goals and yourself to get moving? And when I'm thinking about the power of love, I'm thinking sometimes I have to, let me change that. Sometimes I get to choose to express more love for myself, for my past self, because of the choices that she made in order to get me here today. Whether I look at them as good choices or bad choices, they're what made me who I am today. So, slathering the power of love on myself is a great thing. Okay, so now connecting with air, the mental realm. What thoughts do you need to be working with in order to get your dreams, your goals, your life moving in the direction that you want it to move? Do you need to clear out any old thoughts? Ethereal allies. So, your ethereal allies are those angels, those guides, the guardians, any ancestors, any beings that are beyond the veil that we can call on for help. So, maybe you've been trying to push things forward in a way and it hasn't been working. This is a perfect time to really call upon extra support from again the angels, the guides, the guardians, and ask them to point you in the right direction, and then just sending them gratitude, knowing that the signs, the symbols that are coming out, even if it's just little things like a bird song that catches your attention and makes you look at something that, oh, I hadn't seen that before, or oh, I hadn't thought of that in it that way before. Connecting with those ethereal allies, massive, massive, massive help, massively helpful. So just take yourself a little note here too. And now let's move on to the fire realm. This is the action realm. Now, with the fire, you know, if you've ever watched a candle or watched a fire in a fireplace, that it's always moving. But fire also teaches us how to move, also how to rest. The power of rhythmic timing is what fire is all about. You know, the sun doesn't stay up in the sky all the time, at least where we're located. You know, that's a little bit different story maybe in Antarctica or other places on this beautiful planet of ours. But for the most part, the fire with the rhythm of the movement of sun teaches us the importance of action and of rest. So let's tune into fire here. And what actions do you need to take with your dreams, your goals, your life to get you to where you want to be? Dynamic. So fire can be this dynamic force that really propels things forward. If you turn up the fire underneath some water, it'll get that water excited and moving. So what dynamic action do you need to take in order to get your dreams and goals and your life moving in the direction that you want it to be moving in? So one of the things that just came up for me was to connect with my ethereal allies to take that dynamic action that might be stirring up a little fear inside. I myself personally, I don't think of myself as a very dynamic person, but I know that's not true. So I'm going to call on my ethereal allies to help me get some dynamic action. And finally, let's connect in with spirit, divine feminine, divine masculine, and you for that third thing. So, what does spirit want you to know about your dreams and your goals and your life to help you move forward in this powerful Scorpio full moon window? Co-creation. So co-creation is when you connect with spirit, and it's just as I had called it in where I was talking about divine feminine, divine masculine, and you as the third thing. When you work with divine of your own understanding, that could just be the power of love, that could be the universe, God, goddess, all that is, however you understand spirit to flow. You working with spirit creates this third thing. You working with your dream creates something a little bit different. The dream might come forward from you, but it takes on its own essence. Just as a child, it might be born from the mom and the dad, but it takes on a different essence. It's not exactly the mom, it's not exactly the dad, but it has traits of both. Child, referring to a child as it. No, not good. Sorry. The child might have, it has, the children have their own essence. Dreams have their own essence. You have your own essence. But working in co-creation allows you to move a lot of that forth. So let's take some notes about co-creation. Okay. So when I do these kind of readings for specific points like this full moon window, I like to take all of the cards that I've pulled and use them in and try and pull them together into a beautiful one or two sentence, preferably one, little affirmation in order to really get a little bit deeper information from each of the cards. All right, so let me move the rest of these cards out of the way. And I just lay these cards out in front of me. Okay, so, and let me just remind you of what the cards were, and you can play with this in your space. So for earth, I have foundations. For water, we have the power of love. Air, we have ethereal allies. Fire, dynamic, and spirit co-creation. Okay, so let me just look at these cards for a minute. Okay, here we go. So when I work in co-creative harmony with my ethereal allies, I get a dynamic boost of the power of love. I get a dynamic boost from the power of love to strengthen the foundations that I'm working on. So when I work in co-creative harmony with my ethereal allies, I get a dynamic boost from the power of love to create strong foundations. Juicy, juicy, juicy. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up and share this video with anybody who you think might be interested in working with the elemental forces in a more dynamic way. I will see you on Friday. Mwah. Take care. Bye-bye.